Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Bradley. Today I would like to address the Masonic influences on Mormonism, and I will use LDS resources to prove my points. The first thing I want to say is that it is a historical fact that Joseph Smith was a Freemason. In History of the Church, Volume 4, page 551, it says, Tuesday, March 15th, 1842, and this is where I quote, it says, I officiated as Grand Chaplain at the installation of the Nauvoo Lodge of Freemasons at the Grove near the temple, Grand Master Jonas of Columbus being present. A large number of people assembled on the occasion. The day was exceedingly fine. All things were done in order, and universal satisfaction was manifested. In the evening, I received the first degree in Freemasonry. So, the idea here is that, yes, Joseph Smith, from his own lips, says that he was a Freemason. But it continues on page 552 of the same volume, volume 4. It says, Joseph says, on Wednesday, March 16th, this is 1842, it says, I was with the Masonic Lodge and rose to the sublime degree. So he's saying that he was an initiate on the 15th of March, and on the 16th of March, he became a Master Mason, the highest rank within I think it's the Blue Lodge. So the idea here is that, yes, he is a Freemason, and then he rose through the ranks in one day to become the highest degree within the Blue Lodge. But I want to continue on and see that there was influences on the LDS, and this is according to the LDS church historian Dr. Reed C. Durham Jr. He says Joseph and Sidney Rigdon were inducted into formal Masonry at sight on the same day upon which the Illinois Grand Master Mason and politically ambitious Abraham Jonas officially installed the Nauvoo Lodge. It was on March 15th, 1842. On the next day, both Sidney and Joseph advanced to Master Mason. So it's not only that Joseph Smith says it from his own lips that he was a Master Mason, but it's also collaborated with other church historians and leaders. I want to continue on and see that Mormon Bishop John D. Lee, who was executed for his part in the Mountain Meadows Massacre, wrote about Smith's giving the Masonic Lodge before he died in Carthage, Illinois. It says, Joseph left the door, sprang through the window, and cried out, O Lord my God, is there no help for the widow's son? Now, here's the thing. LDS resources say that he said, O Lord my God, and then he died. But the question is, why? What was he trying to get out? Why would he say that? He was trying to, as I made mention in the quote that I just provided, he was trying to get people he was trying to say, oh Lord my God, is there no help for the widow's son? And this is the distress symbol for the Masonic members. And to prove my point, it goes on to say, in LDS Apostle Herbert C. Kimball also admits that Joseph Smith was trying to give the Masonic distress symbol. So the question is, why was he doing this? It's because whenever the mob came to kill Joseph Smith, he left out of the window, and yet he saw that people in the crowd were Masons. So whenever he was trying to give the symbol, "Oh Lord my God, is there no help for the widow's son?" if they heard that full declaration, the Masons in the crowd were under an obligation to spare his life. I want to continue on and show you from quotes in the LDS that the Masons had an influence on the LDS temples. And we can see this to be the case. Once again, Dr. Durham provides us a quotation. It says, the Kirkland Temple also reflected the influence of Masonry, though not exactly like the Masonic pattern of laying and dedicating cornerstones of their temples. The order of the holy priesthood employed by the prophet, of course, Joseph Smith, in laying the cornerstone of the Kirkland Temple, and about which he explained in greater detail in Nauvoo, with a set ceremony at each corner with pomp and procession, including the definite rank of authority, was significantly similar that the inner courts of the temple were fashioned in such a way that the officers could preside on platforms at either end, east or west, was also similar to Masonic lodges and temples. So what Durham is saying here is that basically the model for the LDS temple is based off of the Masonic buildings. But he continues on. He says, but more importantly, professional architects have only recently called attention to the classical and Gothic elements combined in the architects of the Kirkland Temple as containing direct and unmistakable Masonic influences. So what it's saying here is, as I made mention before, is that Joseph Smith, he's taken a lot of his ideas and a lot of his rites and token stuff, and he has incorporated it from Masonry. So, and as I made mention, that Durham said that the Masonic influences, on the buildings at least, is unmistakable. But I want to continue on this last quotation from Durham. He says, there is absolutely no question in my mind that the Mormon ceremony, which came to be known as the endowment introduced by Joseph Smith to Mormon Masons initially just a little over 1 month after he had become a Mason, had an immediate inspiration from Masonry. This is not to suggest that there is no other source of inspiration, but that it was involved in the similarity between the two ceremonies are so apparent and overwhelming that some dependent relationship cannot be denied. So I'm just making the point that based on the LDS resources that I have consulted, that the LDS authorities are saying that Joseph Smith had a severe dependence on the Masonic lodges and temples in the area where he was at. So for people to say or try to deny that Joseph Smith didn't have an influence on, or Joseph Smith did not take principles of Masonry and incorporate it into the LDS is false. I want to thank you for watching this video.